Everyone. Welcome to Roian.Therapy. I wanted to talk to you for a minute about something that maybe some of you are struggling with. It is something that a lot of people seem to bring to therapy these days, and that is anxiety, worry, stress, sometimes generalized anxiety disorder, but not always. Sometimes it's just anxiety, and sometimes it can be as bad as panic attacks. In fact, a lot of people might even end up in the hospital thinking they're having a heart attack when it's just an anxiety attack. But it feels very real. I can give you a little bit of a tip that might be helpful for you if you are one of those people that struggles, like I do, with generalized anxiety disorder, or sometimes even panic attacks, or just anxiety in general. Something happens to your body when you're having an anxiety attack. It's what we in the biz call a visceral reaction. It's for me, it feels like someone just punched me in the gut, and my heart starts to race uncontrollably. I can also start talking very fast, like I am right now when I get a little bit anxious. What I want you to do is notice what that is for you. It can be sweaty palms. It can be a flushed face. It can be kind of a shutdown, maybe, because what's happening to you in that moment is you're having a mini fight, flight, or freeze moment, and that's coming over your body in a primal reaction. And when we say primal, we mean something that we didn't ask for. I want you to imagine for a moment that you are out in the woods and you've encountered a bear. Now you're in survival mode. Fight, flight, or freeze. What do? How do I save my life, right? It's a lot that same feeling when we're having anxiety. We have these flight of ideas a lot of times, or maybe we just shut down. We don't know what to do, right? There is something we can do to override what's happening in our body in this primal reaction, what some people refer to as being in our lizard brain, because we didn't ask for this thing to happen in our autonomic nervous system. So we can override that with what's called using our executive thinking. In that moment, we are 100% in the emotional side of our brain. We're in our right brain thinking when that's happening. And so what we need to do then is somehow engage that left brain, that rational, logical thinking in that moment. So how we can do that is by doing something probably a lot of you have heard of called deep breathing. Now, we need to kind of do this in the proper way to make it work correctly. And a lot of it's also called diaphragmatic breathing or deep breathing. If you ever do yoga, or if you kind of have to sit down after a workout or just a long walk, or just if you have to sit down because you're nervous and you're out of breath, that reason for that is because we are breathing heavily from up here, and that's also what puts a lot of pressure on our heart and our chest area, and kind of makes us sometimes feel like we're about to have a heart attack. So we've got to get that breathing pushed down. And the quickest, fastest way to do that, and one of the ways that we can force that to happen, is by putting our tongue in the roof of our mouth, right behind our teeth, and immediately start to breathe in through our nose. We want to breathe in through our nose about a 4 count. So, and out through our mouth, what's usually about a 7 or 8 count. But what we're trying to do on that exhale out through our mouth is get all of the air up out of our diaphragm. So we're in 4 and out 7 or 8. In 4, out 7 or 8. Now this might be a little more difficult for some of you who have asthma, COPD, a little emphysema. So you just do the best you can to get as much of that air in and out as you can. The point is you're trying to open up the oxygen supply to your brain, and you're trying to reduce your blood pressure and your pulse rate that's causing that fast heart rate, those flushed cheeks, all of those visceral body reactions that you're feeling, right? And you're trying to slow that breathing down. And you're also trying to get out of that flight of ideas that you're having. So because you're focused on the breathing, because you're focused on the counting, you're able to be purposeful about what you're doing, and calm down and get out of this mindset that you're in, or whatever's happening out here in circumstance world that has got you feeling the way you're feeling, right? So in and out. And on that exhale, really try to bring those shoulders down so you can really relax into it. And if you want to take it up a notch, breathe in peace. Breathe out stress. Breathe in serenity. Breathe out fear. When you breathe in, imagine it's a white light going in your nose, down your chest, all the way down your legs to your feet. Just a white, beautiful light coming in. And when you breathe out, any darkness is coming out of your body, up from your toes, up through your legs, up through your chest, and out your mouth. Now remember, when you start this breathing, it might be really fast. You might not remember to count. But as you do it, you will get better and better and better, and you will slow down into the counting, you will slow down into the breathing, you will slow down into the visualization of whatever you want to breathe in and breathe out, and eventually you will get that blood pressure down. You will engage that rational thinking. You will be able to focus on what's happening in front of you. Now, another pointer I want to make to you here is if something hits you that upsets you, that makes you angry, and you're somebody that goes like 0 to 10 on your anger, the immediate reaction that you're ready to have right in that moment, 100% emotional. And when we're 100% in our emotional brain, that reaction we're going to have is going to be 100% wrong every time. Not because you don't have the most intelligible words, the most fascinating commentary that you're about to make that is going to make your case in that moment, but because you are going to be up here in your tone, in your syntax. You're going to be angry in your delivery. And so that's going to be met with defensiveness from the other party. But if you can just do a couple deep breaths in that moment, if you can just bring that down a little bit, they don't even have to notice you're doing it. Couple deep breaths, less than 30 seconds of your time. You have engaged your rational mind, and then you can say, hey, look, I'm going to validate your feelings. You don't have to tell them that, but I can see that you're very frustrated right now. And I understand that this is a very important topic for you, but how about we bring it down a notch? We're adults here. We can discuss this in a rational way. Or maybe, why don't we take 10? Come back around and discuss this when we're both feeling a little bit better. Or maybe discuss it after dinner. So try to use your deep breathing. Let's try to get that anxiety reduced. And remember, I see you, I hear you. Welcome to Roian.Therapy. And on a side note, more importantly than me seeing you, he sees you. I'll see you next time. You have a fantastic day. Bye now.